Almost 4 decades after it finished, the war is still an emotional subject for those who remember it well. In this small town southeast of Vietnam's capital, Hanoi, people gather to remember fallen friends and comrades.
Our memories of the war are still alive. There were many sacrifices made, not only for me, but also my 3 comrades sitting here.
On this day, they remembered their fellow North Vietnamese soldier Tran Van Su, who was killed by rocket fire in 1968 after infiltrating enemy territory. His only daughter never knew him.
I didn't have any memories of my father. I didn't understand anything about him. So when I grew up, my mother told me.
But thanks to DNA testing, just over a year ago, the family was able to confirm that remains found in the area where he was killed belonged to Tran Van Su. They could then, at least, give him a proper burial. Millions of people died during the war and hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese are still missing. Many of their remains are in unmarked graves waiting to be identified. The war pitted the South against the communist North and lasted almost 20 years. Troops from the US and other nations went to help the South in 1965. 10 years later, the North took control of the whole country and the war ended. But it's only been in the past 3 years that the Vietnamese government has tried to speed up the recovery of soldiers' remains. There are several DNA labs providing free testing for soldiers' families, but not enough to cope with demand. And as more time passes, the testing can become more difficult, sometimes impossible.
The degradation of skeletal remains samples are sometimes very heavy.
Most will likely never find their family members, but they continue to search and pray.
When someone dies, it doesn't mean the end. The spirit remains. Everyone wants to come back home. In my family, there is a missing soldier, so we all want him to come home.
Technology will keep those hopes alive, and maybe more of Vietnam's war heroes will be found, identified, and given a gravesite with a name. Wayne Hay, Al Jazeera, Hung Yen, Vietnam.